Hi, and welcome back to Focal Point on AFR Talk. Brian Fisher is my name. Great to have you in the conversation. Having all kinds of computer problems here on the set, so we are going to reboot my computer, see if we can get back up and running. And Jeff, I don't know, can I take calls? Do you have your software up and running?
Yeah.
Okay, well, why don't we go ahead and while my computer is rebooting, let's go ahead and start the second hour of this Tuesday edition on Focal Point AFR Talk by taking a phone call. So patch me through. Who am I talking to? Welcome.
Thank you, Brian. Yes, I wanted to comment. The reason why Obama wants to get rid of all the Christians in the military, there's a scripture in the Bible, I think it's Isaiah, talks about when Israel's about to be attacked, that the men, the warriors of Israel, became as women and remained in their holes. All Obama wants in the military is sodomites, lesbians, and Muslims and atheists, people that do his bidding. And proof that we don't have any more men in the military that already overthrew this tin-horn Muslim African dictator if we had men in the military. But all we have is women, sodomites, atheists, and lesbians left in there now.
Well, you know, and the reality is these policy changes that have been engineered by Barack Obama, I do believe that they have weakened our military. Number one, by removing the ban on homosexuality in the military, which is a part of our military from the days of George Washington until 2011. There was a ban on homosexuality in the military. Now, you had the don't ask, don't tell policy that Bill Clinton concocted back in 1993, but that did not change the law. The law still said open homosexuality is not permitted in the military. So if you can keep it to yourself, we won't ask you about it. If you don't tell us, you won't get in trouble. But it was still against the law. So don't ask, don't tell was really nothing more than just sort of a way to break the law and get away with it is what it amounted to. So there wasn't open homosexuals were not allowed to serve in the United States military in 2010 or 2011, that lame duck section end of 2010. Now, there's a reason for that. There is a reason why homosexuals were banned from the United States military, and that is due to the simple fact that soldiers have to share intimate quarters. They share sleeping quarters. They share shower facilities. They share bathrooms together. You cannot afford to have sexual tension creep in to intimate quarters like that. That's why we keep male soldiers, and they sleep in different barracks than female soldiers do. Why? Because we do not want the sexual tension. We know you put them together in the same circumstances. Sexual attraction, sexual tension is going to create enormous stresses on unit cohesion and morale. We don't have male soldiers and female soldiers showering together for the same reason. You don't want sexual tension in the ranks. It works against cohesion and morale. So there's a good reason for that. It's not just arbitrary. It's not just because we don't like homosexuals, because we don't dislike them. It's that the military has an objective here, and for that objective to be carried out, there must be the highest level of unit cohesion, the highest level of morale. You cannot afford to have any extraneous factors that will come in there and would affect your esprit de corps. That's a critical thing to military success. So that's why there was a ban on homosexuals in the military. Very, very good reason. Now, we've had a ban historically on women in uniform. I think that's a good standard for one simple reason. God did not design women with the stamina or the upper body strength to endure the rigors of combat. If you want to blame God for it, go ahead. He's a big boy. He can take it. God's saying, look, I made men and women differently from each other. I created them male and female. They are not the same. They are not interchangeable. They are radically different in every single solitary cell of their bodies. They have the same exact worth, but they're complementary in role and what I have designed them to do. So when you put women now in combat positions, which is where the military's going, where now women who cannot carry the kind of packs that male soldiers can carry for the same distance, they just can't do it. They don't have the upper body strength to be able to carry a wounded combat out of the line of fire, drag him to safety. They just don't have it. So that means because you're just ignoring biology you're ignoring science, you're ignoring medical science, you're ignoring common sense, you are going to jeopardize the ability of the military to carry out its mission. They're not going to be able to do it. And, the Israelis tried this with women in combat back in 1948, and they bagged it after about 2 years because they found that the male soldiers in the Israeli army could not help but put themselves in harm's way to protect female soldiers at their shoulders. And you can't have that in the military. You've got to be standing shoulder to shoulder, and you look out for each other, but your primary objective is to work together for a military mission, military objective. You can't afford to be distracted by that, by worrying that your guy next to you may not be able to carry his own load, or that you may have to take a bullet for him. You may have to throw yourself in front of him rather than take care of your military mission. You may have to stop what you're doing to kind of tend to him. So there's good reasons for all of this. I believe there are good reasons not to have Muslims in our United States military, and that is that they have a God, they have a scriptures, they have a holy book that teaches them to kill infidels. To me, it's just not smart. I mean, to me, it's just frankly stupid that you would allow people in your military who have a sacred, solemn oath to kill their fellow soldiers in the name of their God. I mean, in any kind of rational world, what kind of sense does that make? I mean, you've got to set aside everything you know about Islam. You have to set aside the very words of the Quran. You have to set aside 1,400 years of what we observed in the Muslim world when it's in the... You have to set all of that aside and say, yeah, that's fine. We'll bring people into our military who have a sacred, solemn obligation to kill their fellow soldiers. It just doesn't make sense. So all of these changes, I agree with the last caller. I may not put it exactly the same way he did, but I agree with the last caller. All of these things weaken the United States military. Well, let's take another phone call. Welcome to Focal Point with Brian Fisher. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, brother. Name's Miller, Baton Rouge.
Hey, Miller.
Couple of comments. I'm originally from Meridian. My dad served at the whole of World War II at Camp Shelby. The fool who was likened into the AFA, Fred Phelps, is originally from Meridian, which is a sad commentary.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he's a nutcase. But let me just say, I'm 66. I've read the end of the story more than several times, and we're watching unfold, not only with the illegals and all the other issues in the last 5 years, and now this with the military and the attack on the military. It's just hey, I've read it. It's unfolding for us. What my strong encouragement the Lord has shown me is that the military people who are believers should not get out of the military and just turn it over. What we need to encourage our military people to do is to stand firm, just like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego did, and not bow down. We need to just say, look.
All right, Miller, listen, I appreciate the call. I got to let you go because we're out of time, but I agree with what you're saying. Great words, my friend. Focal Point A for Talk, back in 2.